There are several ways to do Lantau Peak and Sunset Peak in one go. The route I ended up running for today sets off right from the MTR station. And after 2.5 kilometers or so, we'll reach the end of the Dong O Ancient Trail. Our first climb starts here on the Ngong Ping 360 Rescue Trail. After 3 kilometers and over 500 meters of climb, we turn into Lei La San Trail, skip the Ngong Ping Market and the Big Buddha, and continue our climb to the Lantau Peak, which is an ascent of over 400 meters. And then we follow the official Lantau Trail back down to Ba Gong Ao and go on to our second climb up the Sunset Peak, just under 500 meters of ascent, and then we descend back to Tung Chung on the Wanglonghan Trail. The first climb should be easy, but if you come on a rainy day, you might find the wooden planks on this climb very slippery. My lone peak 6 has zero traction, and I actually slid down a flight of stairs. Luckily, I didn't lose grip of my GoPro, so I couldn't really run and had to track very carefully. I met another runner on my way up who was coming down. He's wearing a pair of Hoka Mafats, and he clearly had no problem with traction. The rain was sporadic on this day. When I left home, it was actually raining very heavily. Usually, I would retreat immediately and go back to sit in front of my computer and open Netflix with snacks in hand. But this time, I stuck to the plan and kept going. It seemed to pay off. When I arrived in Dongchong, the weather looked deceptively fine, but of course there was just false optimism. The thing about running in the rain is that seeing it rain outside from the comfort of your home and trying to decide whether to go out is usually itself a bigger obstacle than the rain. Still, running in the rain can be a little bit demoralizing. In fact, my plan for this run was to mimic the second leg of the Lantau 100 this year and try out some sections of the course which I have never run on before. But I decided to do just the 2 peaks instead. This was still something new to me, as I had never climbed the Lantau Peak from Ngong Ping. The climb was much easier than I thought it would be, but the wind was blowing quite hard near the peak, so I had to concentrate in order not to lose balance. Today is also my first tryout of some of my gears for the upcoming Swiss Peaks 100 I'm going to run in September. So I had my Sense Pro 10 hydration vest from Solomon with me for the first time. Not much problem with that. Solomon's running vests are always very solid choices. Although at first I found things were bouncing around in the main compartments with the zip at the back, this problem can be solved with some repacking of things in tighter places of the vest. The bigger thing was that I was trying to run with 2 tracking poles while filming at the same time. I had my GoPro on a selfie stick for the flexibility instead of sticking it somewhere fixed, but I haven't found any place on the vest where I can put in and pull out my GoPro very easily with one hand while actually running rather than hiking or walking. I did some googling and some digging on Reddit, but I haven't found any easy solution. If you have any, please let me know in the comments. Here I had my GoPro just in front of the flask, with the selfie stick pointing downwards inside the pack and the camera itself sticking out. It is very easy to put in and put out with one hand, but you cannot run like this, as the stick in the pocket would be moving around, making the camera's position very insecure. Anyway, before I found a solution, I reached the top of the Lantau Trail on Sunset Peak and started to go back down to Dongchong, so further experiments awaits. I think doing the 2 peaks in this way is quite easy. It is down to 2 reasons. First, you break off the climb to Lantau Peak into 2, one from Dongchong to Ngong Ping. and the other one from Ngong Ping itself to the peak. Second, going up Sunset Peak from Ba Kong out means you start from almost halfway up the peak in terms of elevation. On my way down on the Wanglonghang trail, I think it would make a much harder climb to the Sunset Peak. Perhaps I'll plan around this trail next time. My regret for this run is that I didn't stick to my plan, and I blamed it on the rain. And also the rain slowed me down so much on the runnable parts of the route, so I made this run into essentially a hike. But the good thing is I got myself out of the door on a rainy day in the first place, so it still counts as a small success in my book.